The Duchess has been spitting blood. Spitting blood. If you hold a shell to your ear, I believe you might hear the sound carry it over on the waves from Montecito via the Atlantic Ocean to these fair shores, to hear those anguished cries of sheer frustration and jealousy over Taylor Swift. Really. But first of all, let's congratulate the Prince of Wales for turning 42 years old. It's been a very busy week for royalty here in the kingdom. And William turned 42, which brings him to his September month of the summer season. He's in his summer season at 42, but he's about 9/12 of the way through that season, roundabout. So he's in the September month of the summer season. Wonderful, wonderful. And there was a lovely photo, wasn't there? Happy birthday, Papa. We all love you so much. C. That stands for Catherine, by the way, before any untoward conclusions are reached. It's for Catherine. And we see them leaping through the air. Leaping lizards! Eat your heart out, Miss Hannigan. Leaping through the air they are. And then several days ago, another tiding. We love you, Papa. Happy Father's Day, G, C and L. And Happy Father's Day, Pa, W. They're putting the letters community to shame, aren't they, with all these initials? And then, of course, there was the vision to end all visions. And this was the Prince at the Taylor Swift gig in London. It's been going down a treat here in London and throughout the kingdom, actually. She's so popular, isn't she, this Taylor girl? And royalty are a fan, apparently. Well, she's got form. She's been photographed and filmed with them before. She performed, actually, a little ditty with Bon Jovi and with Prince William. They sang Living on a Prayer some time ago, but this time it was William who was singing along to Shake It Off. And old Snake Hips was at it in the audience there doing his dad dancing. But it was the imagery from Taylor Swift's own social media that has got the Duchess of Sussex in a complete and utter spin. Happy birthday, mate! London shows are off to a splendid start, and she brandished this wonderful photograph of all of them there before the concert, one would assume, and the Waleses responded in kind. Thank you, Taylor Swift, for a great evening. Wonderful, wonderful photographs, full of joy, just the tonic for the Wales family, isn't it? Just the tonic with everything that they've been going through to have a nice night out. I won't dampen the broadcast with too much sourness, because I realise that these photographs won't offend most of you, and most of you won't have a problem with it. For my personal taste, it's not what I care to see. For royalty, it is not what I care to see as they kowtow to the world of celebrity. Oh, lighten up, River. It's just a bit of fun and they deserve it, and the photographs are wonderful. They make people happy. I don't care. I don't care. And I'm not just speaking for myself. There are many other old-fashioned fruits in the basket out there who tend to agree with me that this is not what we would prefer for royalty. But I understand that it makes a lot of people happy. And I'm not going to rally against it too much in this broadcast, but I've said my bit. If that is the way that they want to deal with things, that is what they're doing. And because they are doing such a wonderful, fantastic job as the Prince and Princess of Wales in other areas, very diligently doing their duty and setting a fabulous example for the rest of the kingdom, then I weigh up the balance of my concerns together with the things that I think they're doing brilliantly. And ultimately, I can take the rough with the smooth. So there we go. And the Tyndalls were there, glittering in sequins. Sequins galore it was, wasn't it, this weekend? But I do hear, I do hear that the Duchess of Sussex has been absolutely livid behind the scenes. Livid. Now, you might recall that according to the Wall Street Journal, the Duchess of Sussex invited Taylor Swift with a handwritten note, no less. And this was before the days when she was sending out jam to seduce celebrities and muscle into their social media. She wrote a handwritten letter, according to the Wall Street Journal, to Taylor Swift, begging her to come onto her podcast, Archetypes. And guess what? She was flatly refused, flatly declined by not just Taylor Swift, but the representatives of Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift didn't even bother furnishing the Duchess with a personal reply. The curlicues didn't work, Rachel. The quill and the curlicues didn't work. It fell flat, despite you being a Swiftie. She swiftly refused and said, no, thank you, I'm not joining that circus, that tawdry cabaret. I've got a tour of my own to carry on with, and I'm not interested in this wannabe influencer. So something's going on up there, isn't it? She understands what royalty is, and she understands what decent folk are. And she's very happy to brandish the Waleses on her social media, as she should. This is the future king we're talking about. She's got 2 future kings in that photograph there. And a little princess who puts one in mind very much of the late Queen Liz, and of Princess Anne, doesn't she, my dear, that little Charlotte? And then, of course, last year we had the spectacle of Meghan attending the Beyonce concert with hubby in tow. And he was bored to tears. Do you remember those photographs? Bored to tears he was, as she jigged around him like ribbons around a maypole. And there's always going to be a bit of a cringe factor whenever you see mums or dads dancing. It's something that happens, isn't it? But Meghan illustrated that she has no rhythm at all, despite being 43% Nigerian. No rhythm. Whereas White Willie, or Pink Dick, or whatever you want to call him, my dear, Big White Willie has got the hips. And those hips don't lie, my dear. They'd put Shakira to shame. He's got the hips, at any age, cringeworthy or not. Yes. You ask any self-respecting black person out there who they think has got it, and who's got the moves, and they'll tell you again and again and again, Willie, Willie, Willie. But when I put the feelers out over the last 24 hours, to my whisperers across the ocean, and I held the seashell to my ear, I was told that the atmosphere has been thunderous. That is the word that was used to describe it. Thunderous. And I've been told that everyone's walking on eggshells. Everybody's got to... There's been no screaming, there's been no shouting, there's been no throwing of dishes. But the atmosphere has been thunderous, and the tension has been building and brewing as if there is stormy weather in the air. Of course, the fact that this association with Taylor Swift and the Waleses has sent her into some kind of spin, if what I'm told is true, this will be firing them up, which is one of the things that they like to do. It will be firing them up, Meghan and Harry. Her histrionic temperament sort of coaxes it out of him, in a way, in his paranoia. And it's this sort of frisson that builds up between them. This is what they found. Bound them together from that very first date. They could get each other's adrenaline pumping and be each other's dopamine fix. Folie à deux, call it what you will, my dear. But it brought them together because they love a spanner in the works. They love throwing a spanner in the works. But they also like receiving a spanner in the works. And they like it when the tension builds because it brings spice to an otherwise dull and empty husk of a relationship. Do you understand, my dears? It brings a spice. In fact, that's one of the reasons why they keep on and on and on, doing it again and again and again, goading the royal family again and again and again, seemingly without mercy and beyond reason, because if they don't, and without it, they are nothing. And it exposes themselves to themselves. It's actually very common. You might know friends of yours or family members that are addicted to the same sort of dynamic, my dear. One sees them winding each other up or playing some sort of victim that needs soothing, anything to bring them together and create a little storm so that when conjugal activities occur, then they enjoy the passionate tempestuousness of the making up. Do you understand? Or the soothing. Or the, this happened to me, that happened to me, I'm in danger, they're calling me all these names, they're doing terrible things, my family hates me, I need your sympathy, I need your love. Throwing in the conflict and the drama so that they can eventually look each other in the eye and say, it's just you and I, it's folly or duh, we're meant to be together, no one understands us. Take me, take me, take me. Yes, my dear, yes. As distasteful as it is used as a prelude to the adult activities of the conjugal kind. Garter Day was a riot, wasn't it? A delicious royal affair, as His Majesty led senior royals in their annual colourful procession through the grounds of Windsor Castle for Garter Day, and this is the 4th time that we've covered it here on the broadcast. Isn't that incredible? Seems like yesterday that I brought news of Garter Day to you for the first time, and now here we are in 2024. Comes around so quickly. And I've got to tell you, it's given me an appreciation for the continuum of the royal cycle. The same traditions, the same calendar, but rooted in history and ever evolving. So it's wonderful to share it with you again. The velvet robes, the plumed hats associated with the Order of the Garter appearing in a gay display of pomp and pageantry. Their Majesties were attended by their young pages, Guy Tryon and Charles Van Cutsem. You'll also have noticed the Prince of Wales and the Duke of Edinburgh and the Princess Royal. The Duke of Kent travelled by car this time, accompanied by the King's Assistant Equerry, Captain Cat Anderson. The Order of the Garter is the oldest and most senior order of chivalry in Britain, with knights chosen by the sovereign in recognition of their outstanding public service and achievement. The Duchess of Gloucester was invested into the order this year, having been made a Royal Lady Companion in April. Andrew Lloyd Webber was a notable addition this year, invested and installed as a knight. And after the service, an afternoon tea was enjoyed by all. And then, of course, we've had Royal Ascot all week long, over several days, and all the talk was about brave Lady Gabriella Kingston, or Ella Windsor. It's just shy of 4 months since she was widowed and lost her husband, who topped himself, didn't he? Tommy Kingston. And isn't it a tonic to see her smiling? Really, really lovely. She is, of course, for those of you who don't know, the daughter of Prince and Princess Michael of Kent, and she watched Tripping the Colour last week as well, with her brother Freddie and his wife Sophie, and actually there was a memorial service just yesterday in Kensington celebrating her late husband's life. And a spokesperson for Ella said, Lady Gabriella and the Kingston family have been deeply touched by the outpouring of kindness and support they have received over the past difficult months. They were grateful today for the chance to celebrate and give thanks for the life of a wonderful man, among so many of those who knew and loved him too. Huge cheers greeted their Majesties, who were accompanied by the Duke and Duchess of Wellington on the first day, and a selection of other aristocrats for the rest of the week, but all close friends, and Queen Camilla wore cobalt blue by Fiona Clare, and she wore Queen Victoria's sapphire and diamond wedding brooch on that first day, which was gorgeous. Princess Eugenie put in an appearance in a Diane von Furstenberg Mallory dress. Later, the Queen shared her carriage with Prince William in an affectionate display. She rode in with her beloved stepson and the Earl and Countess of Halifax. And the in-laws tagged along, Carol and Mike, with Carol elegant in a self-portrait floral print, the Tyndalls were all over each other as usual, all over each other. There were some very fun images of the Queen making all sorts of faces. They really do capture the best expressions of these equestrian events, don't they, where everyone's excitable. And she wore a fabulous gem, absolutely fabulous, an antique carved emerald, beautiful emerald, once belonging to Queen Mary. And she wore a splendid hat together with it. Isn't it gorgeous? A huge white affair. But the brooch originally was a gift to Queen Mary from the ladies of India, who were a women's committee, and this was during the Delhi Durbar in 1911. It's set in silver and gold, edged in diamond, with 4 diamond brilliants, and there is a rose carved in the emerald to one side and floral designs to the other. On day 4, the Queen appeared in blue Anna Valentine and wore the Jardine star brooch that was beloved of Queen Elizabeth II, and it's late Victorian, believed to have been bequeathed by a Lady Jardine, but it's more or less shrouded in so much mystery. Nobody knows much about it, or Lady Jardine, or Lady Garden, I suppose one could translate it as. And on the final day she served us Dior. The dress was by Dior, another huge hat which was fabulous, and she wore her pink topaz demi-parure. The new love of Peter Phillips has been causing a stir with a few PDAs. Much public display of affection from Peter Phillips and Harriet Spurling, the 44-year-old paediatric nurse and writer, and this was at the Gloucestershire Festival of Polo at the Beaufort Polo Club. And like brother, like sister, isn't it, my dear? Just like the Tyndalls can't keep their hands off each other, they tend to express their love al fresco. They enjoy this rather exhibitionist bent, don't they? These alfresco displays of boozy lust. There's usually a bit of booze in the vicinity. Lusty, lusty, lusty. Now, I'm the last person to be a prude, my dear. The last person. And this isn't anything to do, before anybody accuses me of jealousy, of Harriet getting her hands on Peter Phillips. It's nothing to do with jealousy. It's nothing to do with prudishness or priggishness. It is merely the fact that I personally don't enjoy seeing that sort of spectacle, that sort of event. I've never been one for PDAs, and I can be extraordinarily affectionate and tactile with friends and lovers, but I think that there is a time and place, and I think that it always makes somebody feel uncomfortable being in the vicinity. It's not the school disco. It's not the school disco, so I personally don't really care to see, and you know, a little peck here and there, a touch around the waist or to the shoulder, signs of affection, wonderful, but sort of honeysuckling onto each other's lips, making a big display of it, I find rather vulgar. But each to their own. Lovely couple they look, don't they, though? Lovely couple. And she is distantly related, you know, to through marriage to the Duke of Gloucester, and also via Dorothy Courage, who was her paternal great-grandmother, to the Courage brewing dynasty. So this filly does have some breeding, apparently. It was, of course, the anniversary of the Duke and Duchess of, what are they? Edinburgh. Come on, get with the programme, River. With Sophie and Edward Edinburgh. Of course, their silver wedding anniversary of 25 years has been marked with a new photograph for the occasion, taken by Chris Jelf last week and taken at Bagshot in the grounds there. 25 years ago, Sophie Rhys-Jones, a commoner, married Prince Edward, the late Queen Elizabeth's youngest child, at St George's Chapel, Windsor, in a rather informal, understated affair. They had courted for 6 years before Edward proposed, dashing all those gay rumours, after meeting her at a tennis match in 1993. And it was game, set, and a match made in royal heaven, evermore. Now, I find her more attractive, looking at these photographs, not to say there was anything wrong with her then. She was divine then, she's divine now. But personally, I find her more attractive now in her autumn season than she was then in summer. She gets better and better like a fine wine. And there she was in these photographs in her page, tawny biker jacket and cashmere striped jumper. And my favourite image, actually, of the two is this one of them taken on the steps. And they said, "We are so grateful for the many kind and lovely messages we have received on our silver wedding anniversary, wishing everyone who is celebrating their own anniversaries a special day too." And they also made an appearance on the eve of that anniversary at the Peninsula London grand opening And she wore this Roland Murray number, which I thought was exquisite, and the bag was by Sophie Hasberg in coral and black. Thank you for joining me for today's Royal Romper. I appreciate your company, and I hope you enjoy what is left of the weekend. Not much of it left now, my dears, but have a happy week ahead, won't you, my dear? With much gaiety and much joy. Channel the royal spirit. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and if you care to treat me, my tip jar is in the description box. See you next time, my dears, and toodle pip.